this is Yankor. Continuing about the Draconians, why they were my favorite race. They were the most fascinating race in existence according to me after everything that I had explored, discovered and investigated, because they were very specific in their experimentations. They could see, it was scary looking at them, because when they look at you, it was though, you know, you get, when someone looks at you, sometimes you get that little shudder down your spine, or something like that. I remember the first time I saw one of them, well, we were on this port. We had in the interdimensional existence, you had these ports where you were able to just, you know, stop for a moment and rest. But as it resting existed, it was just, you just stopped for a moment if you felt like stopping. So there were these ports all over existence where you'd either, ports were when you're crossing over to a next or a new existence, or just for rest. If you want to, okay, no, it was not really for resting, more, it was more just when you're noticing, okay, here's a port. It was just like this huge metallic platform, and there was usually a guard there, you know, checking who's coming through. So you first have to stop before you go into the next existence, you know, to kind of, it wasn't like some form of government institution thing that you have here in this world. It was more just to confirm, check who's coming in, who's coming out, who's coming through, etc. So it was just to keep logs, you know, in terms of what beings are now entering which existence, coming out, coming through, etc. So into the existence of where the Draconians existed, for instance, we were stopping at this one port and there was this Draconian guard there. You know, we were climbing out just to rest for a moment, walk around, you know, check existence. It was beautiful, magnificent. So we climbed out, and this is my first encounter with the Draconian. And I've heard of them, and there were pictures of them in the library of Alcyone, but I've never face-to-face met one, which is one of my greatest desires. Even in my room, yes, we had these rooms in our cities, I had these pictures, posters of Draconians that I'd drawn myself. I was their biggest fan, yes, as a child. So for me it was spectacular to meet one of them for the first time. And I remember just walking up to this Draconian guard, and he was standing there, you know, and I looked up to him. And when I looked into his eyes, it was like really scary. It was like I could see myself in him, like he was accessing me in a dimension that seemed impossible. It's like I was like baffled from him, because when I looked into his eyes, it was like I could see myself there inside him. It was strange. Like we'd swapped or something, and I could just experience his presence inside me. Like I felt larger, bigger, huger. The strength and the might of that Draconian was overwhelming. And so here I was, this little frightened young man, don't know where to look, what to do, what to say, completely uncomfortable. And the Draconian just asked, what do you want, and what are you doing here? And you know, we just say we're explorers, we're investigating and discovering existence through curiosity, taking notes, etc. And that's all. He didn't say anything else, he just nodded. And so I left with like a rather strange experience inside me. Very strange, like it was still inside me, you know, I felt infected. But not like I was infected, it just felt like it was still somewhere inside me, like it done something to me in some way. Don't know what. I later actually did go for checkup. Yes, you did have checkups, interdimensional checkups. Check your presence, your expression, everything inside you, to check if everything's fine and whatnot. It's not that there were illnesses and shit in the interdimensional existence, but there were forms of influence, that would disharmonize your expression, and in that disharmony, you would experience quite an extensive uncomfortability. So, only later on, after I'd explored the Draconians' existence, I went for a checkup, and true as Bob, there was these strange DNA alterations in my expression. So the Draconian's presence was still inside me, like his signature. So he was inside me doing I don't know what. But we cleaned it out, and after that I felt myself again. I felt pure, clean, etc. Not that I felt dirty, it was just felt like there was something inside me, and there was. It wasn't my imagination. Thank goodness for that, because if it were my imagination, that would have really messed me up pretty good. So we investigated the Draconians' existence. Their cities, their way of living in existence was magnificent. They're very creative beings. In their creativeness, saying that they're specific would be a disgrace to the definition of their application. They're beyond specificity. They're so intricate with every detail in what they do. It's astounding, amazing. And the Draconians played around a lot with spacecrafts, programming spacecrafts. I'd say they were the most intelligent race in existence. So we tried once to go in without being noticed, and that turned out to be a fuck up, because they could see us. We were walking around there, trying to go unnoticed, perceiving we were, and all of a sudden we just got grabbed by our arms and shoved in front of the Draconians, and they asked us, "What are you doing here? Why are you trying to go unnoticed?" And so that if shitting in your pants existed interdimensionally, that would have been my expression in that moment. I wouldn't have been surprised if that really happened. Okay, so those were my encounters with the Draconians, trying to go unnoticed sometimes. But they were also very, secretive race. They only showed this much of what they really are able to do. So, this is Yankor. I'll continue in my next interview. Thanks.